Text styling can be especially problematic for users of screen reading software. While it is possible to have a screen reader announce text styling information, it is off by default and can't simply be left on as it greatly disrupts the reading of content. The user has to know to enable the readout of styling, otherwise they'll miss the information. I'll demonstrate. This page has content that uses bolding, italics, underlining, and color to convey or highlight important information. Let's start with the text that uses bold, italics, and underlines. Here's how that is read by default.
Review the Americans with Disabilities Act by Monday, February 1st. The exam will be held on Monday.
By default, there was no announcement that the Americans with Disabilities Act is italicized, that the date is bolded, and that the notice about the exam is both bolded and underlined. Now in this case, I know that styling is being used to convey information, so I can turn the announcement of styling on.
Select a scheme dialog. C. Colors. Home. C. Classic left paren attribute. C. Classic left paren attributes right paren. Enter. Normal. Review the Italic Americans with Disabilities Act normal by bold Monday, February 1st. Normal bold underline. The exam will be held on Monday.
With the option enabled, I now hear that styling information. However, if I hadn't known that styling was being used, I wouldn't have known to turn this feature on. Now let's look at color.
Class will not be held. Normal list of 6 items.
Here we have an example where dates are marked in red. We have already enabled the reading of styling, so let's hear how this is read.
Bullet bold underline February 1st. Normal bullet bold underline February 3rd. Normal bullet bold underline February 8th. Normal bullet bold underline February 10th. Normal bullet bold underline February 15th. Normal bullet bold underline February 17th. Normal list end.
You'll notice that the colors were not announced, even though the styling information was. Again, in order to get access to this information, I have to manually enable that feature in my screen reader.
Select a scheme dial. C. Classic left paren. C. Classic with C. Classic. C. Colors. Enter.
Now my screen reader will read all of the color information. Let's listen.
Black on black list of 6 items. Red on white bullet February 1st. Gray 34 bullet February 3rd. Bullet February 8th. Bullet February 10th. Bullet February 15th. Red bullet February 17th. Black on black list end.
As you heard, the screen reader did announce the colors as they changed. However, as with the text styling, if I had not known beforehand that color was being used to convey information, I wouldn't have known to turn on the announcement of colors, and the information conveyed using colors would have been unavailable to me. In these examples, the exam notice could have been prefaced with important : and the dates where class was canceled could have been marked with an asterisk. Text styling is important to create engaging online content. However, it's important to remember never to use text styling alone as a means of conveying information.